Hello and welcome to the Footy Coach Podcast. My name is Jock, your host, and today's episode, I'm going to reflect on this past year and some of the key learnings I took out, which I've listed as the top 10 lessons of 2022. And to kick it off, I'm just going to go straight into showing up when it's not easy. Now, I know throughout the season and throughout a course of a year, there's going to be so many moments that make it really challenging for you to get to training, get to football games on the weekend, do the preparation, get organised. Whether it's family challenges, kids sick, wife's away at work, a whole range of things, last minute things at work come up for you. You have to be away. I just think the first thing I wanted to discuss was, show up when it's not easy. So really do a real conscious effort to get to everything you can. Most people have a lot going on, and a lot of it you don't know about, but they're still showing up, and that's what you need to do. So you need to show up to those training sessions when you don't maybe want to be there that night. You had a bad day at work. Kids aren't sleeping or whatever it is. I'm starting to list a few of mine. But yeah, just showing up and really doing the work, doing the training. And that accumulates across the year. So instead of missing those 4, 5, 6, 7 sessions or a couple of games, because of various reasons, you're getting that knowledge, you're getting that experience into you. And also the players and the staff and the whole team is getting you there as well, and getting your contribution and how important it is, particularly if you are the senior coach. So really making sure that you're showing up when it's not easy. Number 2, ask questions. So particularly if you're an assistant coach or development coach coming through the ranks, I think ask questions. As the old saying goes, no question is a silly question. Ability to, analyze something. If you don't understand it, ask, find out. And that's when you get to know something better and be able to teach it and coach it better. So really ask questions. Whether you hear a conversation between another coach and a player, or coach addressing the team, something you understand, make sure you go and ask questions, which is not always easy. But just going ahead and doing that. And if you are in an assistant role, maybe just let people know that you are going to ask some questions, and that, maybe it might help break the ice and make it feel more comfortable asking, even if it does feel like a silly question. As a coach, we sort of feel like we should know everything, but that's definitely not the case. You've got to constantly ask and constantly get better, and asking those questions is really important to your development, and therefore, which flows onto your team and the players you're coaching. They'll make you better. So get on with asking questions. Number 3, listen and watch at all opportunities possible. So whether a coach is addressing the team or a team manager, or any opportunity for you to listen and watch, whether analyzing film, it's a really good opportunity for you to get involved, especially if you're new to the game, learning your way. If you're coaching under 14s, get the opportunity to listen to some of the old age groups, more experienced coaches. Do that rather than sitting at the back and talking to someone or talking to your mates. Get in close, listen to what they have to say, listen to the quarter and 3/4 time speeches, really take notes, and really get yourself involved. I think some great opportunities to learn how they handle situations. If it's opportunity to sit in on meetings with 1 or 2 players, do that. Again, just taking notes and learning off how other experienced coaches and good coaches, hopefully you're surrounded with, do their work, and handle situations, coach players, get the best out of players. There's a real good opportunities there. So number 3, listen and watch at all opportunities. Number 4, take your time with your coaching career. Something I took out of my conversation with Dale Tapping earlier this year. I think all of us are in a rush to become a senior coach or coach at the highest level we can, or really want to make it happen now, especially maybe my generation, sort of millennials, constantly want to be at the top straight away. But if you look at some of the great coaches, and I love to do it, I jump on Wikipedia all the time and see the coaching history of some of those, great American college football coaches, and how long they've been in the system for. And I was just looking at even Pete Carroll the other day, who's the Super Bowl winning coach for the Seattle Seahawks, won a national title or two with USC in the college system. But like he spent, I think it was 5 years, 5 or 6 years, just as a graduate assistant in the football program, working with defensive backs and bits and pieces. Um, so 5 years, it's a long time. It's sort of like a voluntary, very minimal responsibility coach, just learning his way before he got an assistant coaching role and then built up. And he didn't get his head coaching role in American, like in the National Pro League. It took him over 20 years. So 1994, he took over the New York Jets. And he's still coaching today, where he is, I think, 71. Still coaching at the elite level, probably coaching as good as ever this year. So yeah, I just think taking your time. Hopefully, you love the sport, love coaching so much that you make it a bit of a lifelong thing that you can do. Hopefully, around your work or for those who can do it professionally. But yeah, I think just take your time with your coaching career. And maybe again, talk to myself, because I'm relatively haven't coached for decades like some people have. So I think it's a great thing to remind ourselves, and something I really took out of the conversation with Dale Tapping. And look at him; he's a great example too. Still coaching. Broke into the AFL system late after doing a long apprenticeship, through community football into the NAB League and so forth. So take your time with your coaching career and learning. Number 5 is don't take it personally. I think sometimes you could take things when people try and help you develop, or give you different responsibility or not give you responsibility, and you might feel that you could or couldn't do certain things. Don't take it personally. A lot of the time it's just trying to be develop you professionally as a coach. I know whether you're a community coach, of course, but sometimes, whether it be a manager, and I'm not using myself as an example, but I'm just saying there are circumstances that require different things to happen for you to take different roles, to be offered different positions, to give different levels of responsibility, different opportunities to take on teams. So don't take it personally. Just take it as an opportunity to keep learning, keep developing, keep getting better. And hopefully that's why you're here at the Footy Coach podcast, and hopefully part of our membership, developing your craft and making yourself better. So don't take it personally. And that probably extends on to particularly junior coaches, dealing with parents. When you feel like you get the pressure from parents coaching, I wouldn't take it personally if you are feeling the pressure, because the reality is a lot of coaches in those age groups do have plenty of conversation with parents, which aren't easy. Been there myself, and you just have to keep going forward, doing the best what you can. You've usually got at least one team of 20. I think I coached a few years ago with 60, 70 players, 3 teams. Obviously every kid's got a parent, and yeah, it's a lot of different relationships you have to work through. So don't take it personally if something, the conversation is an easy one. It's part of the game, part of coaching. Maybe not the nicest thing for the coaching aspect. Whether you're dropping a player down on the team, or having to talk through some challenges you're having with a player, with a parent. I think there's a lot of opportunities just to look at it objectively, get the best result possible for all involved, and if there is some backlash of some sort, to put it for better or lesser word, just don't take that on your shoulders. It's just part of the game sometimes, and a lot of the time it's on the people you're dealing with, not on you and your performance, particularly if they're having a go at how you go about your coaching. So don't take it personally. Number 6, growth throughout the season. I think this is really important. It's a lesson I learned actually playing football years ago. I think, well, this is another longer story, but I definitely probably peaked early in the season. And by midway through the season, I was pretty cooked. And that has due to a number of things that I look back on. Maybe I'll chat about that another time. But one of those things was probably training too hard too early. I think the previous season finished in about September, and by the 1st of October, I was training, multiple times a day and trying to get better. And by the time, the season rolled around 6 months later, I was probably already had my tongue hanging out, and by mid-season, I was pretty cooked. So, but that's another thing. I just want to talk about building through the season. So from game to game, really trying to develop and get better and better. Maybe at the Falcons, as example, we probably had a strong start to the season, basically undefeated till mid-season. Then we sort of really dwindled off a bit due to injuries, due to things, but probably couldn't get that growth throughout the season that we're looking for to give us a deeper finals run. So really aim to grow throughout the season with that mindset. Each week, each game, we're trying to get better and not just hold steady. You constantly want to get better. Constantly want to have your players looking to improve each week. Constantly setting the bar higher. Just those 1% each week, trying to get that a little bit better. And it might not always happen every week, but just having that mindset of growth throughout the year, I think is a really important thing that can set you up for success come August, September. Number 7, be prepared. So when you're coaching, make sure you're all set to go, organized. You've covered all bases. You've got all the communication right. You know where you're going. You're getting there early. You're packing your bags. You're getting all your gear organized. You've got your plans, your coaching points, coaching drills set up for training, out there early, getting the cone set up, all those sorts of things. Getting there organized, be prepared makes such a difference, makes such a better coach. So just be prepared, get there early, try and be one of the first there if you can. Set yourself up, have a think about during the day, set some time aside, whether it be morning, night, during your lunch break at work, whatever it is. Just be really prepared. That's really something that can separate you as a great coach. Just be prepared and organized. So that's a real takeaway for this year. 8, take the opportunities. So sometimes you might get an opportunity to step up. There was a game this year where I was obviously with the forward line as a development coach in the 18s, Geelong Falcons. But due to COVID, we had a number of people out. So I ended up being the line coach for the midfield, which you get thrown in and really hadn't done the ins and outs of what that looked like outside looking in. Because I was focused on the forwards, but just take your opportunities, great learning opportunity, and it really betters you going forward. So it's a great opportunity, and you might get that throughout your year, whether it's coaching at a higher level or be assistant becoming a head coach, or a development coach becoming assistant coach. Get a rep team. Definitely take your opportunities and be ready for them when they come up, and give it your best shot. And that's really important, I think, and always say yes at every opportunity you can. So take your opportunities. Number 9, understand you will have ups and downs throughout the season. Definitely, I think even through preseason, from session to session, you can have good sessions, bad sessions, feel like you coached good, didn't coach so well, felt a bit overwhelmed, felt a bit like you're a bit flat, had a great session on absolute high, just constantly kind of changes a bit. Understand that you can have your ups and downs. So you're going to have days where you don't quite come up to the mark, you don't quite get your coaching session as sharp as you like, you're not quite organized as well as you like. You don't quite nail that speech you wanted to, don't quite get the positions, changed on game day, all those sorts of things. Just understand that you're going to have ups and downs, and not riding that emotional roller coaster, just trying to stay steady throughout. Understand that's just the part of the game. It's just, getting a goal kicked against you, to use an analogy. But you've got to just get ready for the next opportunity to kick your goal. So, just understand that there's going to be some good bits, some bad bits, some tough bits, and just ability to ride them all and get ready for the next moment, the next challenge, the next step. So that's number 9. And final one, number 10, 10 learning lesson for 2022. I think it's just purely get back to enjoying your coaching, enjoying the people you're working with and coaching. I think that's where you do your best work, is where you just enjoy what you're doing, enjoy the people you're with, and really settling down and just bring it back to that. And I think that's where you'll do your best work, um, and also get the most fulfilled and most likely to want to come back and do it again the following season. So if you're enjoying coaching, enjoying the people, that's what it's all about. Building those relationships and having fun, enjoying yourself, having a laugh, having a joke, take the mickey out of yourself, whatever it may be. Yeah, I think it's just a great opportunity to just enjoy yourself, get back to that, um, and start from there. And a lot of things flow out of that. So that's the 10. That's the 10, guys. Top 10 lessons for me for 2022. Hopefully you can relate. Hopefully you take something out of this, and understand that we're always learning. That's why we do the podcast, newsletters, all those sorts of things here, YouTube videos, of course. So hope those things might be something you could undertake or help you with some of the challenges you've faced. I hope you enjoyed the podcast this year. This is the final episode for 2022. We'll be back in early 2023 with some more guests, great episodes coming your way. Enjoy your Christmas, enjoy New Year's. Make sure you stay safe and just have a ripping time with family and friends. And we look forward to catching up, talking more. Definitely reach out if there's anything I can do or chat to you about. Definitely check out the membership. It's a great opportunity for you to be a part of what we do at the sort of next level, I guess, beyond this podcast. And I really look forward to hearing about your coaching journeys, and hopefully you have a nice break and get freshened up for a big 2023. So enjoy. Speak to you soon. Thank you. Talk soon. Cheers.